I don't know if excluded from drum culture is the right word, but like you almost feel like you're not like a legitimate drummer if you're not like one of those dudes, you know?
I know what you mean.
You're not trying to be Portnoy or
like
whatever.
I don't have like a Sabian t-shirt on, a drum key on a
Zilch
necklace. Yo, bro, drums on drums. What's up? Yeah. Drumsticks in my pocket. Yo, I play drums. It's like, all right, cool, man. Yeah, I think any culture of any things like that though are like weed culture is super dorky, drum culture is really dorky. It's like anything that we have on. Sweater culture, I got a sweater on. I bet you that's pretty dorky.
Oh, I mean, guitar sucks.
Yeah,
too.
guitars suck. Oh yeah, terrible. Music store drum culture is like just painful.
The
it's
worst.
like just dorks, just the biggest dorks of all time. Yeah. That shit's hilarious though. Those like when you meet like those dudes, like I then get stuck in these K-hole conversations with mega nerds about drums. I'm like, I'm as bad as this guy.
Hello. Welcome back to the show. You are listening to Hitmakers. My name is Ryan. This is my show. And if you haven't listened before, I'd be very surprised if you're listening to this episode and you haven't heard it before. If you haven't heard the show before, I grew up playing drums, playing in bands, and started this podcast about a year ago, talking to working drummers, seeing what their deal is. For this second season, I have taken an interest in kind of pulling back and talking to different people who do different things in the music industry because, let's face it, folks, there's more to life than drums. So I personally wanted to interview Glenn because he now owns a music venue, a bar called Thunder and Lightning in Sackville, New Brunswick, which is a former bowling alley and current music venue. They had a show with Julie Doran the night before this was interviewed. By the way, this was interviewed. I recorded this yesterday. Anyhow, we kind of got lost in drumland and didn't really make it to the music venue part. So we're going to have Glenn back on the show at some point to talk about that stuff. But I had so much fun talking to this guy. I think you're really going to enjoy this. So I'll post links to some stuff in the show notes at learndrums.ca. You can follow me on Instagram at learndrums for this kind of thing. And that's really it. All right, I'm going to sit back and you enjoy the show. Check.
Hey,
we're... Oh, I had the metronome turned on.
Oh.
Tick. I think that's good. Yeah, it's kind of going into the yellow there. I think we're at about the same level.
I'll probably talk this loud the whole time, I assume.
All right.
That's probably my level of talking.
Not going to do any yelling?
My regular talking. You never know. I could get heated.
Yeah. Good. I was thinking more of like the hardcore growl.
Yeah. Hello. Just lose it. Just start screaming at the top of my lungs. Yeah.
Do you know a thing that I find is funny too is like as soon as you turn the microphones on, there's a different weight to everything you say.
Yeah.
Do you feel the pressure?
No, but I was watching a reality TV show the other day that was kind of like from a couple years ago when they still had the host style where the host is really like paced and the way they talk and everything that the guy says, he leaves the time between the words so people can understand. Like that's the way he talks as a host. Like that like
so
weird,
the viewer at home can understand.
Yeah, that's what I assume. That's why they do that. It's just so that like no one's like confused. Like wait, what did he just say? How many contestants?
Right.
They're just like, they have to be as like direct as possible.
And it's not like, is it pre-Netflix too? Or it's like, 'cause now you have the 15-second button,
yeah,
right?
it's MTV. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like an old MTV dating reality show.
So weird.
Yeah, but it is really funny to think of. Now I'm just thinking of that. Just
Weird
pacing
to
myself.
talk to that guy.
Yeah.
What's the show?
What's it called? It's called Are You the One?
Okay.
It's so terrible. I can't even get into it. It'll be like literally an hour-long podcast about this show. They're like, oh, that was weird.
All right. No, Are You the One?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, hello, everyone. I'm sitting here in Glenn Barrington's living room.
Yeah.
In Sackville, New Brunswick.
Yeah. Right here on the marsh.
Yeah. With the man himself. This is the town where we met.
Yeah.
I met Glenn 15 years ago, and I had thought about this
I was thinking
story.
about this too, and I was hoping you would know.
Oh, yeah, no. I think it was 15 years ago. I will never forget it because it was my college, university punk band's first out-of-town show.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't have drumsticks. I committed the cardinal sin of showing up with...
Yeah, that is the drummer cardinal sin.
Yeah, and do you know why?
See if I'm trying to remember. Oh my God, I don't even know if I remember this.
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You don't need to remember because I will never
But you're
forget.
uncovering it as you're saying this. I'm like, yeah, I remember this.
So we hit a show and we played. It was a Monday night at George's Roadhouse with you guys. You were in Go Kid Go.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Wheels on the Bus and At the Mercy of Inspiration.
I did that show. Yeah,
Yeah.
I put that show off.
Yeah, and we were so excited to
Yeah.
get out of town and play a real out of town show. I'm from PEI. I'd never played. We played in Antigonish, but the scene there was like a jam band scene.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we were the only punk band in town. And especially having come from small town PEI, you're always trying to find where the real scene is.
My dog just came in.
What's up, Shadow? But anyway,
Yeah, totally.
all my drumsticks were, I think I was they were beat up Solutions brand drumsticks. Not because that's what I like to use, or else they were like 7As or something.
Because you were in school for jazz drums.
Yeah,
at that
totally.
time,
And
yeah.
there was no music store in that town that sold actual drumsticks.
Yeah.
The one
Just would have the ugly bucket of sticks only.
that's what it had.
That'd be it. They wouldn't have that because they're the shitty sticks. It would just be they just have those shitty bucket of sticks.
They had those and the Trelock Gertu Zildjian somehow. You remember the ones they're dipped in rubber and there's
Why did everybody have those?
a notch out of them.
They look so weird. They're I don't even know. They look like devil sticks or something. It's
I don't know what they're for. Well, I mean,
I hate those.
whatever. They're some style of drumming, but
yeah.
I mean, it didn't seem like something you could reliably play hard with.
No, they would have that weird rubbery edge that would just sound very weird on hi-hats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so anyway, we
Okay, yeah.
I thought that I would get drumsticks in New Glasgow. So I honestly didn't want to show up at the first out of town show with those. So it's fuck this. And I know that there's a music store in New Glasgow because I hitchhiked there once and I remember seeing this thing. And there's none in town. Also, the store, the music store they had there also sold radios and TVs.
Yeah.
It was that kind of, and they had some Jay Tercer
Like
guitars.
a CD store, music store.
Not even CD
No?
store.
Okay.
But so
Yeah.
we drove to New Glasgow and we got there.
Yeah.
There was a guy walking down the sidewalk because we couldn't find it. I didn't know my way around. There's no Google Maps or anything.
Yeah.
And I was I know it's around here somewhere. This area is so familiar. But I can't. I don't know where it is. And everybody else in the car is are you sure there's a store here? And we see this guy walking down the street, and we pull him over and said, "Hey, man, do you know if there's a music store around here?" And he says, "Oh yeah, CD Plus at the mall." Like you were saying,
Yeah, totally.
CD,
Yeah,
and it's
no.
like a musical instrument store. Is there one of those around here? And then he's looks at us like we're crazy,
Yeah.
and he's like, "What, you mean guitars for sale?" And
You're
we're yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And he's
Whoa.
he goes, "It's a small town, folk boy," and he walks away.
What?
Yeah, and they're like, "What the fuck, dude? I actually need drumsticks, and I know there's a store here."
That's so
and
funny.
It
my
turned out the
God.
store was 1 block away from where we were.
He turned
kept
around
driving.
at that point and left, and he just missed it by a block.
Well, he didn't know it was there.
Yeah.
But we were literally, when we were talking to him, one block away from where the store actually was. But the store was closed for renos.
Okay. Oh, well.
So they weren't open. I couldn't buy drumsticks.
Would have been a lose. It was a lose-lose. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a long...
And then you asked me for drumsticks.
Yeah, you had Ringo Starr Pro Marks.
Yeah, totally. I was going to say Ringo Starr Pro Marks. Because they're longer. I was looking for those long drumsticks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I played those for a while. I made my way through the whole Pro Mark catalog for a while.
Have you?
Yeah, and I don't like them anymore though.
I could never get into them.
No, I don't go there. No, I'm Vic Firth for a long time. Yeah.
I find that too, and it's a funny one where I feel like I don't particularly have a brand loyalty.
No.
But they are always in my mind the best ones.
Yeah, I don't know why. They're the snappiest or something.
Yeah. They got the best weight.
Yeah.
There's nothing weird about them.
No, you can get pretty I play like the Vic Firth metal, which are like these massive sticks that are like, I don't know, like 3/4 of an inch longer than your standard stick, and they're like super, super thick. It's like what, like, I don't know, like, I'm trying to think who plays them. They're you know, they have like their list on the website of like who plays what model of stick. I know that one of them is the Jonas brother plays Vic Firth metal, and I was like, sick. I'm gonna be able to play drums as hard as the Jonas brother who plays drums.
Did you know that before or after you started using them?
After I started using them, yeah. I looked them up online.
You looked them up when you got them?
Like, oh, one of the Jonas brothers plays Vic Firth metal.
Did you use them and know if you liked them or not before looking them up?
Yeah, totally, yeah. I just wanted the biggest sticks I could find. More weight in the drumstick, the less work. Mm-hmm. You got to do.
I'm on 5Bs for that reason, but I find I haven't ever gone heavier than 5B and stuck with it.
Yeah. These are definitely bigger than 5B, I think. Yeah, definitely. Like, for sure. But I've been playing them for like 10 years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're the one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'll buy them like in 12s. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny doing the jazz thing. I like had to rediscover heavy sticks.
Yeah.
Because doing that, like the standard one that everybody had was a Peter Erskine ride stick.
Okay.
Which is good if you want to do that. And then I discovered the Dave Weckl Evolutions.
Oh, yeah. Oh, those
which
are cool.
I'm not a Dave Weckl guy.
I played like the Vader. I played Vader sticks for a while. Fatbacks.
Oh, those are good. The 3As.
Yeah. And I thought those were really thick. And then I was like, okay, these aren't that thick at all. And then I got thicker sticks again. Yeah. And then like I've since then just like it's funny because then I got like all of my friends that played punk music, like playing drums, like to get into playing the Vic Firth metal. Because I talk about them all the time. Now I have like a couple of buddies that also play them exclusively. They're just like, yeah, man, Vic Firth metal. They just have the best weight in the front of the stick for like playing heavy music. Like playing.
Funny.
Yeah.
Now I got to try them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're pretty nice.
I had a guy, I was at a Guitar Center in the U.S., and I was looking for drumsticks.
Yeah.
And I had been using at the time, they're the SC10s, Vic Firth. So they're thick, but they're light. And I was like, I don't know, I've been using these lately. I tend to just like use different ones kind of based on whatever's around. And then you get into a mode of a particular stick for a while. But he's like, oh, dude, the best sticks. And he handed me the SD ones, the Vic Firth snare drum sticks. He's like, these all the time. And
you ever see these bad boys?
Drum kit.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, you know, I tend to break them a lot because I play a lot of metal. I'm really, really heavy.
They're the tiniest tip. There's like no taper to them. It's just
it's like a circle. It's like a marble.
Yeah, it's like a little tiny nugget on the end of like a really like on a hot dog. It's just
it's not small though. I don't know if you're thinking of the same one.
Generals.
Yeah. It's like a pretty big.
Oh, it is like a big like
bead. Because it's like as thick as the stick itself.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I know the ones you're thinking of, like the thick ones with the little tiny. I have no idea what those are for.
They're like marching drumsticks or whatever.
Is that what they're for?
Maybe. I don't know why. I don't know why they look like that.
Yeah, I don't know either. I know that these ones are like, if you are doing rudiments, they will bounce well for that kind of like fly playing. But if you ever have hit a cymbal with them, which you just have them lying around, so you play, like I've done it a couple times, it just felt awful. Like,
what are the ones that my drum teacher got me to use, like, what are they, like rock crushers or something like that? I forget what they're called. They're like massive, massive sticks. I have them upstairs. They're literally upstairs on my dresser holding down my tips. Yeah. Paperweights also, especially when you don't play drums like regularly. You just use your drums as like different storage things. Like, oh yeah, perfect. I'll just make this stack of drums a table. There we
Yeah.
go. And put the snare drum underneath this chair.
I had mutes on mine. I had them set up at home.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the apartment I was living in, and then they do just become storage space. Like
Yeah.
it becomes
Somewhere to put your
bunch of shelves.
laundry on. These are clean T-shirts. I'll put it on this rack, Tom. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I need that for. Most expensive clothing rack you've ever bought. Yep, totally. Yeah, when we met, the thing that I always thought was crazy because you were playing like fast drums.
Yeah.
Is that you would stomp your hi-hats like with your snare drum
I
when you
have
played
always
fast
done
beats?
that, man, and I don't mean to do it.
No, but like that's a good thing to do. I learned like shitty habits when I started playing drums because I was like self-taught until
Me too.
before I went to university.
Yep.
And I never stomp my hi-hat with anything. And now later in life, I'd like try to with as much stuff as I can to count through it, and like it just sounds more full that way to me now.
Really?
But when I was younger, like and saw you do that, I was like, why does Chicky do that? That's weird as hell. Like
I have no idea,
Yeah.
man, because it's the
Yeah.
same thing. Nobody ever showed me how to do it. Just
Yeah,
the
yeah.
shit that because you have the sound in your head.
yeah.
And so you're playing this, you're just thinking about the sound, and so you
Yeah,
I
yeah.
tend to just fucking like stop my feet.
Yeah, trying to play as fast as you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much like my whole mission the first like 10 years that I played drums. Just like, how does the fastest and what is the most shit I can do in the quickest amount of time?
Do
That's
you,
like- and then, then I stopped that.
When you play the fast punk beat, do you play like da 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 hi hat, or do you play like just on the back beats? Or
No, I play 16ths on the hi-hat. Yeah. Like the da-da, like, yeah, I'm playing
Yeah.
16ths the whole time.
You do,
Yeah.
yeah.
It fills it out better. It makes it flow better. Yeah.
I agree, but I always found that to be the hardest part, and I always
Yeah.
my shoulder, right? It's like your shoulder
Yeah.
on the ride. Somebody can't.
That's the one that you just have to figure out, like, that can, like, basically barely exist. Like, you can be playing that hi-hat, like, so light. It just has to sit, like, which saves you so much energy. And same with all of it. The fast beat just becomes, like, this, like, a floaty,
Yeah.
soft beat. Like, it's fast, but it's soft.
Uh-huh.
And
When
just,
you
like-
can get into that zone, you need to be good with the bass drum too, though. I
Yeah.
found because I also played heel down forever. And
Yeah.
it wasn't until I started having knee problems that I started
Playing heel up.
Yeah, and for playing loud music, playing heavy music, fast music, you
I have bad, like, bass drum foot technique, though. I don't, like, release my beater from my kick drum. I drive it into my kick
Yeah.
drum, which is terrible. That's why, like, my kick drum always moves, which I've known for 20 years. But I've never changed it because I play hard. So playing hard just makes me, I don't know. I know I can, like, could train myself to hit it and release. But I'm like, I just sink it in there.
Do you see? Yeah, I've never done that.
Yeah.
And because I played heel down forever, which again was just like whatever I figured out in my basement by myself and didn't really ever think about.
Yeah.
Then when I learned it the other way, I can't remember who I got it off of initially, but like it's like Jojo Mare or something. You look at videos of like who you.
Yeah. Whoa, Virgil Donati. I need to learn how to do
Oh yeah, fuck
Double-
that. I can't.
double paradiddle, double pedal foot shit.
You
Like,
know, that's a guy that I
shit's
only knew
so
from like
useless.
drum posters that you would
Yeah.
see.
And his like hammer pants. with,
Oh, I
like, his,
followed him
like-
on Instagram. I had to
Oh,
unfollow him.
God.
I couldn't handle it.
Ugh.
It's just
Ugh.
like, you know, and it's funny too because when you're a kid, like there's a certain phase where you think like those guys are the best. They're the best.
Yeah, totally.
That's why they're on that shit. And then you get older, and like at this age, that just seems like such self-punishment to me to like, you know what I mean?
I just,
to
like, I
go
do-
and like play that kind of music.
I do watch drum videos, which is like the dorkiest thing ever, but like I think everyone that plays drums does. But it's just to me one of the most hilarious aspects of it. It's just like watching a drummer being like, "Yeah, look at that, whoa!" But like I do watch those, but
I know,
watch
I
some
do
of those
too.
guys are just like those crazy technical guys. You're like, what are you doing? You're like, it's laugh. You have to laugh at it. You're like, what the fuck? Like, where are you gonna do that at? Like,
I know. Well, you can only do it at your drum clinic.
yeah, that's
Like-
it. Which is like fine. I guess if that's the route you want to go. That seems just like so strange to me. Just playing drums, like
Yeah, it's just not for me
No.
either, which I had to kind of be okay with.
yeah, no, I'm not I couldn't do it. I tried the school thing and then I just like couldn't hack it.
How long? Yeah, I kind of couldn't either.
Yeah, I did 2.5 years and then I just like stopped.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you stay in Sackville after you stopped?
Yeah, for like another like year, and then I moved to Halifax. But I like auditioned at Humber for like their jazz program twice and didn't get in twice. And then after the second time not getting in, I was just like, fuck this. I'm just going to play more and more music than ever. And then that's all I did for like the next like 15 years.
I know, man. That's all I ever wanted to do. I ended up at music school like by such a fucking happenstance of situations in life.
I don't think I needed to, although I don't regret it. It gave me like a different perspective.
That's one thing I was going to ask.
Drumming,
like worth it?
Yeah, fuck it. I don't care. Like, I think anything, like, I mean, not going to regret it. I regret this, like, having loans and shit left from it, but that's pretty my only regret. Like, what else do you do at that age? You're like this weird, like, non-existent human. You're not a kid anymore, but you're like a fucking total idiot that, like, doesn't know how anything works. You're like, oh, I just live in this apartment with a bed and I'll eat noodles. And then I'll never clean myself.
Smart.
Yeah, and just, like, act like a total incensed prick everywhere I go. Yeah, I know everything because I don't have anything and haven't achieved anything and have no life experience. But I'm a fucking dickhead. Like, what do you do? So, like, university's, like, not, like, that terrible because at least it like, funnels some of those people into a place where you're like, okay, at least we know they're, like, contained for a few years until they ruin the world a little more.
That was what I always loved about it, man. That was the draw for me.
Yeah,
it's like you
what
go
else am I gonna do?
like, yeah, you work on what they tell you to in order enough to pass your course. It's like that's how I always saw it. And that didn't always happen because I didn't know that I had never had the experience of having to work to pass a course before.
No.
High school, you just get through. And even it's like I almost failed this class, but I didn't.
I failed a lot of stuff in school, in university.
I did in university,
like, I probably passed like a quarter of my classes, like barely. Classes I just never even went to because I was also already playing in bands then. So
that's when you truly don't care.
Yeah, like, well, I could stay in school for music and learn how to be a musician, but I already am one. And I'm like touring and playing music. I was already like filling in for people, and like I played drums with Greg McPherson when I was like in second year university. Yeah, and like did tours with him where I'm just like, well, I'm playing drums for like a guy that's like 12 years older than me, and it's like I'm playing legit shows.
Well, you're like, this is what I actually want to do.
Yeah, then
this
I'm going
is
back
the
to
music
school
I
and,
actually like.
Yeah, letting old nerds tell me like how to be like a touring, like being a musician. I'm like, dude, I am already doing that. Like, fuck this. Yeah, I know. Then I quit, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I like.
Did you finish?
I did. I feel like like in my mind, I dropped out but stayed at school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was partially just like being stuck between worlds. Like to go from middle of nowhere PEI to any place. Like that's not the place that's like really more happening.
Antigonish. Big city of Antigonish.
So you're like, you just got nothing. Yeah. It's like back and forth between those two. You're like, there's nowhere else for me to go. So I did stick it out. But what I always liked about it was hanging out and partying and being crazy with my friends.
Totally.
And then doing that kind of music sometimes.
Yeah.
But my view was always like, yeah, I'll go to school because I guess that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah. But what I actually want to do is play in bands and play the music that I actually listen to and go to shows and
do as little as you have to in your regular life to just do that as much as you can.
And hang out and party.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what I ended up doing too. Yeah, same thing. I lived in Halifax for a couple years and played there and then kind of ran out of like things to do. Like everybody I played music with like kind of moved away. And then I moved to Toronto and just like hyper speed, like played as much music as possible. Like was played in like 6 bands at a time, like having band practice every night of the week. Just like,
how did that arise?
Just from like I played in a band called Horses, and like my buddy Lockie like just moved to Toronto because his girlfriend was living there at the time, and we were just living in Halifax being like gearboxes, rigs, just East Coast like fucking fuckheads, just like playing in this band and getting shit hammered drunk and just like not really
as you do
doing much. Just like, well, I could do this here or I could do it in the city where like my girlfriend lives. I think that was his choice of just like, so he did, and then I stuck it out for like another 8 months or something in Halifax, and I was just like, if I move to Toronto, like we could just keep doing this band. So and I just like fuck it. So I just moved to Toronto, and then we started playing again, and then just like that was it. I just like started playing in that band and just like started going to shows in Toronto and meeting as many people as possible because I'll talk to like you and your fucking dog and your dog's pile of shit. Like I'll talk to anybody like anytime, anywhere. And it's like, yeah, that's me. So I just like met tons of people and just ended up playing with like in every style of band that you can think of. Like
Cool.
in like in the realm of like punk rock and like that kind of shit, hardcore and heavy music and whatever. Yeah.
And so you found there was a lot of opportunity to do that?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, there's tons. Like I also moved there at like a really good time where like I moved to Toronto in 2007 and it was like the year that they started doing like Stuck in the City, which was like this hardcore show promotion group. Not around anymore.
I never was there, but I remember.
Yeah, it was like that, and then like a guy named Mark Pesci was doing Mark Pesci punk and hardcore shows.
Yeah,
and there's just like a shitload of bands coming through Toronto, and like a really huge like scene, kind of like being reborn again, like it does every like whatever 5 years. There's like a new wave. I think I just like moved there at like the beginning of a new wave of shit.
Who would have been the bands at that time
in Toronto? Like in punk bands, like Brutal Nights and like Fucked Up and
okay, like, right. So that's because I was gonna say
Attack
Pup,
and Black
Pup
and
would
like
be like the a later wave.
Later, yeah, for sure. Yeah, Attack and Black, like Cancer Bats, like
right.
All those dudes were like in the still kind of early 2000s ish,
and
like a bunch of like Urban Blight, like all those bands, like like Toronto hardcore bands, Career Suicide, like yeah. Which was awesome. And there was like really great like hardcore festivals and stuff that would happen, and lots of like punk bands came through. Like pretty much every band that you would hear, you would see play like the next week or month. Be like, have you heard this band? Oh yeah, they're sick. Oh, they're playing here next month. Cool. Which is sweet because like a lot of the bands that I played in at the time like got to play with tons of bands that we were into at the time that would obviously play Toronto. Like if American bands or European bands or whatever, and for bands from anywhere in the world, they're going to come to Canada. They're going to play Toronto and Montreal.
If you're going to play one show, it's probably Toronto.
Yeah, if you're going to play 2, Toronto, Montreal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything more than that, like you might go out west and play some, but
yeah, you might. Yeah. But like, you might hit Vancouver if you're on the West Coast.
Yeah, maybe, but probably Toronto. Like you can pretty much see anyone that you ever heard of. Ever you can see them play in that city, so we got to play with all kinds of like crazy bands and stuff, and you just like meet a lot of people really quick because there's so much going on. It's pretty much like still the case, probably always has been. Like,
well, it probably is. It's a thing that living out here you don't really fathom because it's so rare that a band that you really want to see comes to town. Yeah, like in not a slight on bands who do come through even, but it's like. There are touring bands who come through, and there are lots of local bands who play. But like, is your favorite band gonna make it to town? Like,
probably not.
Yeah,
maybe, but probably not.
Depending on who they are, but it is kind of a limit. If you're on a smaller city on the East Coast, like I can remember seeing like Deerhoof in Halifax because it was an event, and Queens of the Stone Age, and like whatever, like Propaganda. Like I can. List a bunch of kind of these bigger shows that happen, but it's not. It was exciting that they came to Halifax.
Totally, yeah. For sure.
Whereas in Toronto, they're just going to play there.
They're going to play there. You probably get to see them multiple times. Yeah, which was cool. So like, I mean, it worked well. I was there at a good time. Met a lot of people. Played a lot of drums, which was sweet. And like for a while, and then didn't play a lot of drums for a while because I started singing in a band and then just like sang in a band for about probably heavily for 4 years, at least 4 or 5 years, and like probably didn't really play a lot of drums for probably 3 years, 4 years.
Was there anything that caused that, or
just
happened?
Because that band was touring like crazy? Yeah, like we were just doing as much stuff as we possibly could, and touring and playing shows in Toronto, and I just like. Was like, well, fuck it. Like, I want to tour, and I'm loving singing in this band. So fuck it.
That's Attention?
That's Attention. Yeah. So I just like did that.
I didn't realize you guys toured that much.
Yeah, like we tried to do as much as we could without like losing our minds. But we were in the States a lot. Like we spent a lot of time in the U.S. Played a lot down there. But then I like kind of just like met some younger people and kind of like that band was starting to do a little bit less after about 5 years or so, and then just kind of started playing again, like filling in again, and started filled in a band of like dudes like 6 and 7 years younger than me that played really fast, heavy shit, and was like, cool, I can't play fast stuff anymore. I'm like too out of shape. I'm never going to be able to do it again. And then I got back.
I know,
to
I
it.
feel that.
Yeah, it took a while. It probably took like 6 months of just like punishing myself, like coming home feeling like I did like 45 minutes at the gym, except it was just like a band practice of just like punishing fast drums. But yeah, now I'm like playing better than I have in a while because I've been filling in more for people randomly and like getting to do more concentrated groups of like tours are like the best practice because you get to play like every night for 3 weeks and you're like, cool, play like 40 minutes of drums.
That's how you learn a set.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then you get like, then you come back from the tour and you're like, ooh, shit, like I'm better.
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty shit hot.
Yeah, I'm pretty fucking good right now. This rips. Like,
yeah.
I can do anything. Let's play some fucking more drums. But then you don't like play for a bit because that's the way that shit kind of works. And drums are like kind of weird in a way because it's like, well, I guess some people do, but there are a lot of drummers that never play when they're not like playing with people.
Yeah.
They only play when they like play with a band or their band or on tour or at band practice, but they never like I've played in bands for years where I never went and played drums with myself. Like I just play at practice or at shows, like, which is weird.
Well, it's funny though because you do a lot of it when you're learning.
It's true,
like,
yeah.
I did when I was learning, but once you know stuff, unless you're practicing for like to avoid injuries, or if you're practicing
to, like,
because you want to learn
something.
a thing,
I did a lot of that trying to learn how to play fast stuff again, like in doing like speed and strength hand exercises, where I just like do that for 20 minutes a day, like 5 days a week for a couple of months.
What kind of speed and strength exercises?
Just like really, like they're like Tony Royster Jr.'s ones from like some video that he put out a couple of years ago when he was like in his, like, cause he's like the same age as us, maybe or something.
Oh, even probably younger.
Yeah, or younger, probably.
I don't know. I just like, I remember being 20 when I saw that video of him as a little kid.
Yeah.
And I know it wasn't made at that time, but in my mind, that is my
Did
age
Mark Dalmont show you that on a VHS? Because he had a VHS of that like went around for a while when we were in high school. We just watching me like, what the fuck? Fuck
yeah, I saw
kid.
it on the internet. I think it was pre-YouTube, but
yeah, totally. Yeah. No, he like has like it's just like doing big exaggerated like free strokes, but more or less like really paced, and then just like building them up in speed over time. And he does like this kind of like it's sort of like a tap and a catch, but it's like a big exaggerated double that. You just kind of do them, alternating back and forth. And
Can you do it?
Build them. Yeah. I could get it really fast for a while, but it worked. It helped. That stuff like goes the distance more than anything. Just like doing one thing like that for 20 minutes a day, like every day for a couple weeks before you have to go do something big is like massive.
Learning to feel it and learning to like, use the muscles, feel the sticks, feel the bounce.
Yeah. And then you just get comfortable with that. That's mostly what it is like, because then when you don't play for a while, it's like not knowing like that sweet spot anymore. And then you hit that sweet spot after like, if it's like a tour that you start, after like 5 days, you're like, okay, now I'm like in the zone where I grab the sticks, they fit in my hands perfectly, and like I hit every drum perfectly, and everything's
it starts
like,
to feel good and everything works. Yeah. But until you get to that point, I agree, man. Like you just sit down and you're like, everything is awkward. I don't know.
Yeah.
My seat is not at the right height. The snare is wrong. I'm sitting at the wrong angle to the bass drum. I'm hitting the cymbals weird. Like,
cymbals aren't at the right height, or like something sounds weird, or I think everything sounds cracked.
Yeah.
I think all my cymbals are cracked. Yeah, no, they're cracked. Oh yeah, they sound weird. I think my ride cymbal's cracked. I spent like sets just saying that to myself for like the entire set, and then at the end of the set, I check it. I'm like, it's not fucking cracked. I'm just like literally unhappy with my playing, so I'm like focusing on like an aspect of my setup to like make myself feel better. Yeah.
Do you ever see videos of yourself playing after that happens and you're like, oh, it was actually fine?
Yeah, totally. Every time. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%. Or like recording takes. So you listen back and you're like, oh, I don't know I can't remember what I wasn't unhappy with.
Yeah.
It sounds fine. Like, fuck it. Let's use that. Yeah, the video thing's weird. Or the way you look when you see yourself in a video, you're like, whoa, that looks cool. Like, that's what that looked like. Fuck, cool. Right
I know,
on.
because all this shit, especially, I agree if you're thinking, I'm just playing 16th notes or I'm just playing triplets. Like, God, this is so basic, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And then you watch it, you're like, I'm pretty good.
Yeah. If I saw me, I'd be like, that guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And isn't it funny too that so much of what goes through somebody's mind when they sit down behind a drum kit is just wanting somebody else to think that.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
You're not,
Totally. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Or like have them think nothing at all. You're like, either I don't want anyone to know that I'm here at all. I'm just going to be in the back here and I'm going to fucking do my thing. Or I just want them to know one thing. Just one. I think that's the sweet spot. That's like the sweet spot of being a drummer. Play a show and then have just one part of the entire set make everyone go, huh? And then you're good. That's all you need.
What he's doing.
And then just get out of the way for the rest.
Do you find do you look down on people who are really impressed by dumb drum solo shit now? Or do you?
Yeah, kinda. But not really.
Right. So I went through a period where I was really like, oh God. And now I just find it charming.
I mean, I would never do a drum solo. I can't like bring myself to that.
Oh, but I mean specifically like a guy is on stage going like doom 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 doom.
Oh yeah, and everyone's like watching, being like, "Whoa, this guy's really going for it."
Yeah, man. Did you see that drummer? That drummer's amazing.
Yeah, it depends. It'd have to be like done so well, tastefully within the song that it fit with a part of the. Like there are a lot of like. There are drum solos within songs that people don't even realize. I think those are probably the ones that I like, are like drum parts that are technically a drum solo that evolves throughout like a whole part that happens beneath like a massive hook of a song that nobody even realizes is happening. Those are like, you know what I mean?
So what would be an example?
I don't even trying to think of something
like would be a
some
drummer?
kind of like I don't know like some kind of big cascading moment of a song like
Right,
a Bruce Springsteen song where like like there's just like a massive tom fill that is like frames the entire part, but
Sure,
everybody only
yeah.
just knows no. That's the only thing they know from that part. But the part that actually is happening is like the crazy, intricate written drum piece that's happening underneath it. That is a solo.
Totally.
Those
right.
are like, those are
and
cool.
in that sense, a song can be a solo too, especially when you think of like some bands where like the tunes are just.
Which is like totally a real way and realistic and reasonable and tasteful way to display your abilities on the drums. But like
100%.
in the middle of a song, like a song with verses and chorus and bridges to like have a drum solo in it is like. Fucking hilarious. Like just be like on the drums, dun 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 dun. It's just like, really? We're gonna listen to this right now? Like we've been listening to the drums the whole time. It's like the most like obvious instrument of the band. Like we're not blending into the background. We haven't forgot you're here.
Yeah,
like,
no, I can hear everything you're doing.
If you miss
don't
one
worry.
kick drum, we're gonna know. So like we don't need the like solo drum solo. I mean, I guess it works in things where it's like the idea of the music is showcasing the talent of each individual musician, then sure, there can be like a drum solo in the middle, like a jazz song or like something more like expressive, but like a drum solo in like a rock song is just like...
It's so dumb.
It's so dumb.
Especially now, like, because I feel like it was a relic of a time where they were, all that kind of music was new and they were exploring what it could be and everybody is like, whatever. And then it became a thing, and then it became like Tommy Lee upside down.
Yeah, totally. Hanging upside down, like breathing fire, like playing triplets with his boner at the same time, like whatever the fuck that guy does. Like, yeah, cool, man, radical.
Did you ever see the video of it's like a drum solo with the drum solo parts cut out? Where he's in Tacoma, Washington. He's talking to the crowd. He's like, "What the fuck's up, fucking Tacoma? Like, you motherfuckers ready to get fucking crazy with me?
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm feeling crazy, I like to go to the left." And then he like starts playing into this thing. But in the cut, it just goes to the next thing where all of a sudden he's upside down. It's like, "What the fuck's up now, Tacoma? You with me, Tacoma?" He keeps saying Tacoma.
He just never actually does anything. Just keeps cutting.
Yeah.
Oh, this is oh my God. Yeah. Or like, Travis Barker, like Travis Barker doing drum solos in the middle of a Blink-182 set. Here's like an hour and a half of like offensive sexist body humor from grown men, and then like this like guy with a burnt hot dog for a wiener is gonna do like a 40-minute drum solo on top of like a limousine. You're like, what? They're literally just like making fart and dick jokes, and now this guy is like doing a drum workshop.
Tattoos.
Yeah, here's a drum workshop in the middle of a Blink-182 show. Like, do we need to hear this? Yeah, it's mostly just like him doing like some kind of paradiddle between his hands and his feet for like 40 minutes. Like, sick, dude. Cool splash cymbals.
I know.
Let's hear What's My Age Again
Array
already.
of splash cymbals.
Yeah. Can you play Damn It, please? And then he goes into playing like Damn It, which is like 4 on the floor. Here we go.
Well, and like a funny whole phenomenon too, where that was like when that band really made it commercially, and then people
took
are like,
it to the next level.
It's fucking drummer. But he plays like a guy who is so bored in the band.
Oh, dude. My friend saw him at a skateboard convention in California, and he was like with a huge crew, and then like he walked through the convention, and then like he was getting tattooed by 2 different people at once.
Oh my God.
Sitting in a booth with like no shirt on, with a bunch of people around him taking photos, just like where he's getting tattooed on his body, I have no idea. At this point, but he's like getting tattooed by 2 tattoo artists at a skateboard convention, like as Travis Barker. It's like, you're a fucking dickhead. Like, what's wrong with you? You like, this is what you wanted to become. Like, holy shit, man.
Well, it's funny now. I think he is a genuine person who's like on some level, or he just seems to.
Yeah.
If you ever hear him talk, he's like.
He's like, seems like he could be a down to earth person.
Yeah, it is so not my thing.
But I don't know. It's a little intense. It's a bit like on the wild side as far as,
It's a bit on the
as that
wild
goes.
side.
I don't know, but
I would never choose to be Travis Barker. Like
no,
if I
never.
could.
No, I mean that's what you were asking. You were talking about that before we started. Was like if you had the opportunity to fill in with something for like 1 week or something, like I would take any opportunity to fill in with anything for one go. Like to be like, you're gonna play drums for, my references are so dated, like you're gonna play drums for Christina Aguilera. I'm like, all right, sick. One show playing crazy funky dance jams, like that'd be amazing. But I also like, yeah.
What's your max?
Of like,
How many shows would you play with Christina Aguilera?
I do like a 3. No, I need 5 days just to really hit it. So 6 days, you know, just so then I could like get all the cobwebs off by the 5th day, and then the 6th night, just like
Day 6,
just
you're out.
dust it and be like, sick, peace. That would be with anyone. That would be 6 days with anyone. That's like
You
that's
wouldn't
the
get
game.
addicted to the fame and the money?
No,
the big
I don't
shows?
think so. No, I couldn't handle it. No, it'd be intense. Too many people telling you the thing you already know every day. It's like, you're on in 20 minutes. You're on in 15 minutes. You're on in 10 minutes. Like, yeah, man, everybody has phones and watches and stuff. Like, I know what time it is. Thanks for your volunteered update. It's like, yeah, all those crazy music industry things are like, would probably be so stressful. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I would think it. Yeah, I mean.
But I do like the fill-in thing's fun. Like, I've been doing more of that the last while than anything. It's just like getting opportunities to fill in for like a couple weeks. It's like learning a bunch of shit and then like going and filling in.
I like it too.
And then just like, I'm a game time guy. That's my skill of drums. Like, what's your, like, everyone has like a drum thing. Some people are like good in the studio, or like some people are very technical. I'm just like a good, like, what do you need to have happen right now? And I'll make it happen out of nowhere for some reason. I don't even know where it comes from. And then I just like can play stuff like in the moment. Yeah. I'll learn something for like months and never really get it. And then like play a first show and be like, all right, I nailed it. Sick.
There it is.
Like, there it is. It was just like, I need the fear of the moment to just like make it happen or something. But it's like totally, yeah, I'm a live game time guy. That's my like, which is sweet because then I can fill in with people and just like generally pull it off.
Well, do it and
Which is
feel
sweet.
confident about it too.
Which is fun. But then it takes a bit. I can fake it good. I can game time fake it. And then when I finally nail it, then it's like, okay, sweet. But I can pretty much convince people from the out of the gates. They're like, dude, you're basically nailing it. I'm like, no, I'm not. But I'm tricking you.
But I'm glad. But you can't tell.
Yeah, you can't tell. That's my talent. I'm good at tricking people into thinking I'm playing the part that I should be, when really I'm just playing something that fits the part well and tricks them into believing I can do it.
I think that's the key, though, to being a fill-in drummer.
Yeah.
What I found is like part of it is like figuring what do they expect to be there.
Yeah.
Like what are those things that they need to hear, And as long as those are there, then
totally.
you play whatever you want.
As long as like the and of one in this one fill is there in the middle of this verse, like all the in between things I can change, or like even like every other.
But
beat
they
of
don't
that
know
I can
how to
change.
tell you that.
No, and they don't even know that you're doing the thing that is making the song still feel secure to them. Mm-hmm. You're just picking it, knowing that that's the thing they need, and they don't know that's the thing they need, and they don't even know that you've picked that. It's like a very weird, like subconscious thing where it's just like kind of happens, which is cool. And then everyone, that's it. You just have to hit those little points, and everyone's like, "All right, this guy's got it." And you're like, "Yeah, I'm playing it completely different. I'm really not playing it at all. Actually, you think I'm playing it, but I'm leaving out 2 beats of the beat. But like, I've tricked you."
Because but the way that people always say it too is like, well, it's like it's chill in this part, kind of. And then it's like, feels like it falls apart over here. And then it's like,
bring it back together here.
Then you go really hard at this part. Like,
I
wish you could just tell me what it sounds like.
I'll look at you at the bump part and raise my eyebrows, and you'll know. But I'll probably forget to look at you, and I'll look at you at the bump part as it should be happening. But somehow you'll be doing it, and you'll be questioning yourself in the moment. How are my hands doing this? But thanks, hands. Just like muscle memory comes into play. It's like, all right. Okay, body, do your thing.
I think also, no, I'm totally blanking. Oh, I was going to say, what's fun about the fill-in thing is that you get to be in a band for a couple weeks, like without all of the bullshit of like, does anybody care about us?
Totally.
The day-to-day of like, practicing all the time because that's what you got to do.
What's happening after this? I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
What are we doing when we get home? I don't care.
Yeah.
I have no connection to this except right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is the best part. No strings attached. It's just like
show up and play the show.
Enter and exit. It's just like the best. Yeah, I love it. I just did one in November and it was like so fun.
Who'd you play with?
A band called Junior Battles from Toronto.
Oh, that's what my brother was saying. Yeah.
And their like drummer is like a crazy technical drummer. Like he recorded one of their records without anybody. Like he just recorded it Travis Barker style and recorded all the drums with no one else in the room.
Do you have a click?
He just played to a click from what he remembers from when they were practicing because
I would hate that.
Yeah, and
because I would leave a part out or something would be too long or
well,
too
I guess
short.
they kind of modified some of the parts of the songs after the fact because he played stuff a bit longer than it should be or a bit shorter than it should be. So they were just like, I guess we'll cut that verse or like I guess we'll add a verse here.
I wonder how that happened.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know when you listen to the record. But like it's such a so he's a crazy good.
Sometimes
good drummer,
those things happen in the studio too. Like I remember, not to totally sidespoke you, but tracking. Just doing demos with a band, and there's one spot where I just didn't hit. I hit the edge of the snare instead of hitting the drum, by accident. And they're like, "Oh no, that sounds cool. We want to keep it."
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just a mistake.
Love those.
Yeah,
gotta love those. Good old happy accidents. Yeah. No, it was cool. It was fun. Yeah.
Where did you guys play?
We were in Europe for like 3 weeks.
Cool, man.
Yeah, it was fun. So I played like the second half because their drummer could do the first half. Mm-hmm. So he played the first half, and I like hung out and watched him play for a week, which was cool because I could like see some of the things I was working at by myself with headphones, like live. And then I played like the last like 6 or 7 shows of the tour of like the 3 weeks, or something like that, 7 or 8 shows. It was like it was great. It was super fun. Yeah. Learning other people's stuff is also like so good for challenging yourself and like getting better.
I know because you have to can't play your stuff.
Yeah, you can't play what you would play there.
Yeah,
and like their music is the kind of shit that's like really structured around the drum fills and like drum parts. The drum parts are very like percussive and very like musical, so like it's like a big part of the parts of the songs. So there's a lot of really specific things that need to happen, and like when you can't do your own thing to substitute to trick everyone, and you have to learn that part.
I know it feels weird, right? You're like, you hit that thing, you're like, well, I can't.
I don't know what this is. I can't do this.
I know. I'm always like, how long have I been doing this for?
Yeah.
And I can't pull this off. But it just is because if you haven't trained yourself to do a certain thing, and you're used to doing another thing and being competent at that thing.
Yeah, you always pick from your own bag of tricks. Yeah. You're not going to be like, oh, in the moment, I'm going to do what Chicky would do right now. Like, what? Why would I do that?
Why would you?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I know. I would never like...
Yeah, I have my things.
Yeah.
I have my go-to things.
What would Glenn do?
Yeah.
And I definitely like rip off people's like if I see somebody do something that's cool, I will probably figure out a version of it that I can play.
Yeah.
But and once you got your bag of tricks, it's all you need. Yeah, it's all you need.
Couple triplets here, couple drum rolls here. Whatever.
Yeah.
Good to go. Yeah, no, yeah. Every now and then I come up with something that I'm like, that's cool. I don't know what that is, but I could use that sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Try and like play it 10 times or remember it or like record it on my phone and then just like find it a year later and I'm like, what's this voice note? Like, oh.
Totally. I love that.
Yeah.
Because I will forget them too. And it's funny, like, I had to learn that. Like, you think you're going to remember it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my Velcro.
Oh, yeah. No, it's
fine. You think you're going to remember it.
Yeah.
And then I've forgotten so many ideas that way.
Yeah. Totally.
But it's like, it's so cool to like flip open. You're like, how's there 15 of these things?
Yeah.
And then you listen back to them and
yeah,
some of it's cool.
Totally. Yeah, man. Yeah. Totally.
Sick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Drum is sick.
Drums are sick.
Drumsick.com.
Yeah, man, drums are sick. I don't actually get to talk. It's funny though because I don't talk about drums that much. I talk a few times with some people, but ultimately, like, it's a weird instrument because drummers don't spend a lot of time together. Guitar players spend tons of time together because bands usually have multiple of them.
Right.
And if you're on tour, like,
I know if you're the drummer, you're the only one.
Yeah.
And I always find too, for me, like, I'm not a modern drummer guy. I don't care about, once you learn enough of that stuff, then you're like, well, I know how to play this thing, and I'm just going to listen to what I like and do it the way I like to do it.
Totally.
But so I, as a result, sometimes feel like I don't know if excluded from drum culture is the right word, but like you almost feel like you're not like a legitimate drummer if you're not like one of those dudes,
I know what you mean.
You're not trying to be Portnoy or
like
whatever.
I'm not. I don't have like a Sabian T-shirt on, a drum key on a
Zilch
necklace. Yo, bro, drums on drums. What's up? What's up? Yeah. Drumsticks in my pocket. Yo, I play drums. It's like, all right, cool, man. Yeah, I think any culture of any things like that though are like weed culture is super dorky, drum culture is really dorky. It's like anything that we have on. Sweater culture, I got a sweater on. I bet you that's pretty dorky.
Oh, I mean, guitar sucks.
Yeah,
too.
guitars suck. Oh yeah, terrible. Music store drum culture is like just painful.
The
it's
worst.
like just dorks, just the biggest dorks of all time. Yeah. That shit's hilarious though. Those like. When you meet like those dudes, like I then get stuck in these K-hole conversations with mega nerds about drums. I'm like, this is I'm as bad as this guy. Like,
oh yeah. Like, what do you mean? You said you are as bad or you're not as bad?
I am. Yeah, I just like don't.
You realize that you can keep up?
Yeah,
like that kind of thing?
You're like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Who am I?
Well, I
Who am
actually
to
think about
judge?
this all the time.
Yeah, totally.
I know that is a funny one, but I do also find it like I'm not somebody who uses different heads or like experiments with that. Or the best line to me was I was at Long McQuaid once, and the guy's like, "Hey man, have you seen these? Yeah, these new they're like cymbal. They were Sabian cymbals of some sort."
I thought you were gonna say, and I'm gonna lose it. The sound recording cymbals.
No.
I hate those. They're so stupid.
Oh no, this guy was just like, these are like the darker side of Weckel sound.
Yeah,
pretty cool. Like as though I was like I would be into
radical, dude. Sick. Love Weckel sound, but a darker side of that, I'm in. Like, what the fuck? Well, that was one of the last times I was there. It was those sound reduction cymbals for recording, and I just said to the guy,
"Those are what for record? The ones with holes in them?
Yeah, like
for recording.
Yeah, they have like lower frequencies or something.
I thought they were just for practicing.
I don't know. The guy was telling me that they were like good in the studio or whatever, and I just said to him,
what?
like, shouldn't you just get better at recording? Like, just get better at recording cymbals. You don't need to get like better to record cymbals.
Yeah, every record you love, swear to God, this is going to blow your mind when you find it out, was recorded with cymbals with tiny holes drilled all through them.
Yeah.
Like, that's the studio secret.
Oh, that's what they do?
Oh, yeah.
Weird. Just
for
to
all
make
time.
them, like, sound dead.
Oh, no, I'm not serious.
Oh, but that probably, yeah.
No, I'm saying, like...
Oh, I see what you're saying.
How do you get to a point where those are what you want to buy for recording?
I don't understand. And also, why would you have a set of cymbals for recording?
Uh-huh.
How do you know how to play those cymbals? You're not playing them live. You don't know what they sound like in the song that you're playing.
Do you find, because I have found in the studio, people will have cymbals sitting around. Be like, you should use this for the song. And you're like, that thing looks terrible. It's like so thick and weird looking. It's like, yeah, it sounds really good recorded.
Yeah, those are. So I use those sometimes, but sometimes I just say like, nah, man. No, I'm just gonna use my thing.
What kind of cymbals do you like?
I have like a 22-inch artisan ride that I really like. That I've this is like the third one that I've had. I broke 2 before that, and then like I've played HHX 14-inch stage hats and 18-inch, 19-inch stage crash for like ever. I've had like there's a second set of hi hats and my probably like 4th crash cymbal of the same kind. That's been my setup for like probably 12 years.
I think I like those cymbals.
Yeah. They have like nice bite, quick decay.
Yeah. The quick decay is important.
Yeah,
you gotta have
especially in,
something
like,
that does
fast music.
that. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Can't have like this big washy. But like I recorded like a record a couple years ago in France, and this like dude that recorded the record is like this guy who's recorded tons of French punk rock stuff, and he was just like this little tiny French dude, like who's like 5'3", like little tiny dude with glasses, and just like maybe like in his like 50s, and he just like he apparently is like an insane drummer, and he was like asked me if I minded if he tuned the drums. And I was just like, yeah, man, fuck it. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm like far past the point of caring anymore. If I go to a studio and the engineer's like, I'm really good at tuning drums for this studio, I'll be like, fucking do it, man. Like, I'm going to go smoke a joint.
I want to take 45 minutes with this floor tom.
Yeah. If you know how to tune drums in this room and you're confident, like, I'm going to go take a shit. Like, do your thing, man. Like, I'm not like, that doesn't hurt my pride. But this guy,
well, especially if you're working with this person because you like what they do.
Yeah, but like, I didn't know anything about him or whatever. But just from him sitting down at the drums and just tuning the drums, I could tell he was a sick drummer. Just from the way that he held the drumstick and was striking the drums and tuning them, it was just like, and he never once played a beat, or he just tuned each drum and that was it. He didn't even go past that and go like play a short beat and a little fill to see if it sounded cool. That alone, I was like, holy shit, this guy's a crazy drummer. Like, that's a fucking, I want to hear him play drums just by watching him whack a floor tom. Like, fucking shit.
The boss
He
move.
made the drums sound amazing. Like whatever. They sounded fucking awesome. They're so low. It was like the lowest tuned drum kit I'd ever played, but it sounded fucking huge
It's
on
a
the
hard
record.
thing to do, man. I have trouble getting them to sound good when they're tuned low.
Yeah, he nailed it. It was insane. And then, like, they just sounded huge, like, when we recorded. Like, all right, sick. Like, I love that shit. But yeah, no, the cymbal thing. Yeah, I don't know, any of that stuff. It's just funny. A lot of places in Europe like give you the sound dampening pads that go on your cymbals because they don't want the cymbals to overpower their sound system for like decibel reasons. So
like the neoprene ones.
They're like these like fat rubber pads. Yeah, they get you to put them under your cymbals.
They're like practice ones that go like sound like.
They're like foam rubber thingies that go under your cymbal on the stand.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and they like dampen it.
Yeah.
I fucking would get in so many fights with like sound guys in Germany. They'd be like, "You have to put these on your cymbals." Like, nah, man, I'm not doing that.
I hate them. I can't.
And they're like, "You have to." I'm like, "No, I don't have to." Like, you can't make me put things on my cymbal. It's like they're my stands and my cymbals. Like, if you have to put them on, we are not doing the show without the pads on the cymbals. And I would like put them on the cymbal, sound check, and then like take them off. And then after the show, the sound guy would be like, I saw that you took the pads off the cymbals. And we're like, yeah, man, show's done. Like, don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Sorry. Guess you had to roll your highs back tonight. Like, I don't know. Like, whatever, dude. Relax. Do your job, man. I don't care.
Did they ever, you never had a show, them like stop in the middle or something?
No. It's just weird. It makes your cymbal sound cracked. Like, it just like deadens them.
I know it does.
They sound like super dull. It's like, oh, fuck. This is so unsatisfying.
I know. It's like, and you feel what it takes away like the feel of what you're doing.
Yeah, makes you like play harder or something, or not harder, or like.
But yeah, the cymbals you don't get the shimmer, and you don't get the response.
Yeah, totally. Do you play with earplugs in?
Yeah, but I can't find my earplugs right now.
Yeah,
I play with foam earplugs forever. It makes you play so loud.
Yeah, I never do.
Yeah,
ever.
Do you have ear damage?
I don't know. I would assume so, but not to the point that it's affected my life. I don't think. And I don't get a lot of huhs. I can't hear like sometimes, but I just don't like the sound. It's weird. I don't know. Never really have.
I had a pair of the musician's earplugs, and those ones are good, but I agree.
I just end up losing them. I like bring them
I
on
know.
a tour. I'm like, I'm going to wear these every night. And then they just fall off my keychain on the second night and I don't give a shit. Like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck. I just lost those $15 earplugs.
So then you don't.
Oh, well.
No, I had the $200 ones.
Oh,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
molded ones. So
Yeah.
those ones although I say this as I now haven't known where they are in a month.
Yeah.
But for years was able to hang on to them. But yeah, I agree. Those like the Vader ones or whatever, they go.
Yeah, fuck. Those
you
are
lose them in
stupid.
a week.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always played really loud stuff too, but I don't know. I just never do it.
My ears are like I have tinnitus in one ear, and then I assume that I'm deaf because people always just tell me that I talk too loud. So I don't want to make it worse. So I always wear them.
I think it just probably affects different people differently,
Uh-huh.
I would assume. It's not like an overall depletion of like time spent hearing drums equals this much hear loss for human. I don't think there's like, and that's maybe I'm wrong. I don't know shit. I'm not like a biologist or like a doctor or scientist or anything. So
No. Yeah, I don't know either. But I used to I definitely when I started would play in my parents' concrete basement and have like Walkman headphones on.
Yeah.
Just cranked up as loud as I could get it so you could hear it over the drums.
yeah, and then playing drums to that.
Yeah.
Just blowing your own head off.
Yeah.
That's how I learned to that's still how I learn how to play stuff when I fill in for shit. Just try and play as quiet as I can with earphones cranked full volume.
Oh, do you?
Just blowing my
I
head
bought
off.
in-ear monitors.
Did you?
And they're great for that. They're
yeah.
the $120 Shure ones. But
I should do that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good.
I literally just put
They're great for
earbuds
recording
in.
too.
Yeah. Earbuds or like big noise canceling headphones.
Yeah, I can't do it. The big ones I could do, but the earbuds I can't.
Yeah.
But I mean I can, but I prefer not to.
Yeah.
But these are great because they block sound out. You can hear everything.
Yeah. Totally. What time is it now? Yeah.
Probably 57 minutes deep.
There we go.
Yeah, we should probably wrap
I told
it
you I
up.
could talk forever.
Yeah. Oh, I knew
Yeah.
it heading in, but I appreciate it.
Dude, it's super fun. Yeah, it's awesome. It's cool that you get to talk and shoot the shit randomly. We don't hang out and shoot the shit that often. So
Totally.
that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks, Glenn.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
All right, great one, right? Thanks so much to Glenn for being here again. You can find links to some of his stuff at learndrums.ca. Follow me on Instagram at learndrums if you like. That's all. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Except I can't see you and you can't see me. Talk to you next week. Except you can't respond, so it's not really a conversation. Talk at you next week. Bye-bye.